Hey there, it's Tricia Carr, and I have this message for you. It is a channeled message from the Atlantis 7 Council of Light about the December 2024 energies and this period of darkness that some people have been talking about. The Atlantis 7 Council of Light is this collective that I have been channeling for several months now, and they especially are here to help us to move into the new golden era that would be Atlantis-like, but unique to us, helping us with our expanded intuitive abilities, including incredibly magical things that we really could do, like astral traveling, bilocation, and other things that are going to be prominent as we reclaim our true selves and move into the new age. So I hope you enjoy this transmission. If you're listening at some time beyond December 2024, they have assured us that the transmission and the activation of this goes even well beyond that time. It just happens to be something we really need at this time. And then, of course, beyond. And there's a longer version of this actual video. If you wanted to see it, in the description, you'll find the link. Enjoy. Beloved entities of light, we come to you on this morn, on this eve and this morn of this day, wherever it is and whenever it is that you are experiencing this, for your time, space is so relevant to your experience. And yet, we want you to have a deep awareness and an ambulation that your time, space, while relevant, is not a limitation for you. Thus, we bring into your awareness that it all has to do with your state, the state of your energy, the state of how your spirit is freed in every moment. You see, even when an entity is grounded in a physical reality and identified to the physical form, they are still free. They are not, indeed, imprisoned or victimized. And yet, darlings, this is what it is that you play around with in your world. But do you know that you do this not because and not by the form of your physical? You do this simply in your state. We say state, you may hear state as in state of mind, and yes, this is accurate and appropriate, and it is your mind, especially as you are in this orientation, as when you are in this configuration of being expressed on your third dimensional earthly plane, and yet it is even more. Imagine, visualize, or sense that the mind is but the nugget, but the core, but as a central part of your overall spirit. And so, as we say state, we invite you to think about it at sometimes as state of mind, because your mind and what feels and seems as though a mental process and a mental creative instrument is factual, is true, and yet it is even more than that. We may say, as a slight tangent, that this is why those of your kind, of your human entity existence, find a great shift when they upgrade their mindset or they become mindful, because they are now taking their masterful position with and beyond and around their mind. So as it seems appropriate in your vernacular in the moment, hear the word state as you shall. And yes, it is that you, in your experience, in your point of perspective, will use your mental faculties as the instrument. And this is what we would desire to restore unto you, is that your mental faculties, your mind, is your instrument and not your master. In fact, indeed, you are the master of your mind. And so we shall move now into the query at hand, the update of the energies at this time. And we understand that there has been a hubbub of period of darkness, and there has also been a concern about how to move forward. Now, darlings, we do want to say we witness upon you that there is darkness that is moving through your collective. That there is that which seems like an entropic kind of downturn as you seem to be allowing things of your collective belief systems to die, paradigms to dematerialize. And these might be actual material paradigms, and they also might be really advanced thought forms, collective egregore thought forms that you have created, meaning certain kinds of belief systems that everyone is participating in. And there is a cloud as also a mechanism to be able to transmute these, that there is a false, there is a rampant collective mechanism of thought and belief that is a false reality that many are engaging in. Now, whoever it is, from whatever place that you are, you likely are saying, "Oh, yes, I have the true reality, and that other has the false reality." Or perhaps you're a person who intends to be very deeply introspective of oneself and say, "Am I in the false reality, or am I in the true reality?" All of these are acceptable, for they are simply how you function. And so let us give you the tip. It doesn't need to be decided in this moment. In this moment, it is not the first call of your duty to decide if I am in the correct or in the false. It is not in your space to be discerning that, because discernment is only ever possible when you are in the correct state of discernment. So as it concerns a period of darkness, well, as one entertains this possibility of a period of darkness, and certainly when one does it in a way of identifying with it, feeling as though it might be causing victimhood or creating more pain, suffering, or victimization, or disempowerment of the individuals, at any time this trips across the frame of one's mind, and it is stimulating in the self some kind of depressive or some kind of disempowering energy state, then that is your period of darkness. That is it. It is, and so it is. And so as you choose, and so as you think, and so as you occupy in your state, and so it is. So now, of course, you are wondering, but does it befall us in a grand gesture of some kind of cataclysmic, overarching, destructive force? Much like your Epic of the Gilgamesh, and much like your Noah's flood, is it possible for this to occur? It is possible, of course, because natural destructive forces are a part of the evolution. Is it in the offing for you all? Not in the sense that we are talking of it being a necessary cycle of your nature, not the physical nature, but your spiritual nature. Yes, this is occurring. This is occurring, a cataclysmic dismantling of systems and paradigms that need to be released. And so, since this is a collective experience, there is little you can do for the entire collective. You cannot experience the heart of another human. You cannot control or manage the thoughts of another human. You can only become a master of your own state. And so we have for you two different pictures, two different exercises, you may call them, two different explanations for how you can stay free of a period of darkness, at least for the sake of free of it, so that it is not creating more downturn for you. But in fact, when there is a period of darkness, you can move through it so that it can be something utilizable. It can be the grist for the mill. It can be the fuel for the engine. It can be the base material for the alchemy to be turned into gold. That is what darkness is. It is not something that can overcome the light of awareness ever, 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 darlings. It can only ever be used to create more of who you truly are and what the universe truly is. So we bring to you first the paradigm that will help you, we hope, we endeavor, we pray, will help you to comprehend how to, in every moment, recognize your period of darkness and to move through it. And we bring to you the understanding, the model of those who are aware of the process of moving beyond the physical. Whether you've heard about this in your stories, your narrative stories, or whether you have experienced the loss of someone you love, and you sense them leaving this plane and moving beyond, and then perhaps you get messages at some point you have your relationship continuing. Or perhaps it is that you are a medium, one who facilitates that transition process. And so this is what we bring to you. In some of your narrative, there has been some misconstruction of this process. And specifically, there are some stories, there are some ways that would characterize it that, these earthbound spirits, we must listen to their messages before they can move on. There is something that is keeping them. They are trapped, they are trapped, they are trapped. And there is something that must be resolved before they can move beyond to the light. And if you are a medium, if you are one who has ever encountered one of these beings who is in the offing, in the movement forward, not in the light yet, not in the physical anymore, that in-between space, that can be experienced as a moment of brief release and bliss, and so that one could move swiftly onto their path of light. It could also be experienced as a fearful dimension, one of chaos, one of that which is described in some religious architectural stories as hell. These are the recesses of mind. These are the collective spaces of humanity's mental collective body. And specifically, if we're talking about pain, suffering, and victimization, and dare we use that word once more, hell. We try to use it with a lightened tone so that we do not bring anyone into a fearful state. In fact, we are saying that any version of this is something that can be occupied inside the experience of being physical or without the experience of being physical, except for as one does continue into that beyond through what you experience as the light. Beyond and in the light, it is the collective back to the awareness, the wholeness. While there still is an autonomy and an individuation, you are in the full collective awareness once again. So this is why it is light. It is into the light. Because in your understanding, you can always equate the word light with awareness. And so as one says love and light, love is resonance, and it is the creative principle of all that is. And light is the full awareness of all that is. Thus, when there is an entity who is in the stepping through process on that threshold of just having detached the consciousness from the physical, to move beyond, there is the moment, just as there would be, of stepping over that threshold. There is a layer, sometimes called Bardo, sometimes called fourth dimension. There is a layer that is intended to be moved beyond after one has disengaged from physical living. And the reason for this is because it is a utilizable dimension, but particularly as a layer that is being utilized and co-created with entities such as humans. And so it is a place of all kinds of mental thought. It is lower than your higher self frequency. It is within the sphere of your human mind and human mental capacity. And so as one is in this stepping over the threshold, not yet moved into the light, if one were a medium and they encountered this earthbound or this not yet transitioned spirit, the first job of that medium is to encourage for them to turn and look to the light and to continue. It is untrue, it is inaccurate, better said, that these spirits who have not moved on, they have to finish some business and they have a message for us. They are humans without bodies, darlings. They simply are lacking their full capacity of how they are configured at this time, and they must be collected unto themselves, collected unto their soul, into their full awareness. So you see, if an entity enters this dimension with much fear, and especially as this fear would be a 51 or 7, let us say better, usually more experienced with someone has a high frequency quotient of fear in their overall psyche, 70% or more. It could be 51. They might have a brief moment of fear, and then they can feel that freedom and bliss and the remembrance of their limitlessness, even in that layer. That is the point of it, is to be able to have a gentle transition, to find your empowerment even in that moment that you have released your body. The offering is to feel that you are free and that you can be free to continue. And that is in the moment that one is in an astral body, and it is something that, yes, you can experience as a physical human coming back to your body. And we digress back to that if one is more over holding a fearful balance within their state as a habit, that could be experienced as quite fearful. And if they show themselves, if they are made themselves known to someone who has mediumistic skills and sight, they can be greatly assisted by that medium who knows. Continue to go to the light, friend. That is the only thing that you need to do. That is the only thing that you need to do. And any belief that you have some business here, that can only be done after you have been collected unto your soul and have your full awareness and your full capabilities restored to you. So, as we are giving you this full process, we want you to know that this is available to you in your walking around in your physical form. You see, anytime that your mind is dwelling in the fourth dimensions, particularly in the layer of the fourth dimension that is chaotic and fearful, you are, whatever version of it you may be comfortable with, in your hell. And it is never a place of resource for you. You are not fully embodied, and you are not fully in awareness of the light. You are somewhere in between. So if we can impart anything to you, we would love to transmit into you right now and give you the activation to notice in the moments that you are in fear or chaos and you feel disempowered or victimized, that the only thing you need do, just like a medium transitions an entity to the light by the encouragement, is for you to be your own medium and to encourage yourself to your full awareness of light. Because darlings, even if your life were literally threatened and you were actually in a victimized position, you would click over into awareness. If this were naturally happening, you would not stay in fear as the physical instruments that you are. You would shift into another gear, and you would find all kinds of resources to continue to live in fuller awareness and to fight or flee in a proper sense. But in an arrested inter-between of fight, flight, or chaos or fear, this is not your full capacity. It is you limiting yourself. So number one job every single time that you are in a period of darkness is to move to the light in your awareness. Allow the light to come and process the darkness. We are not saying to ignore that there is darkness, ignore that there is downturns. This is a part of your nature, and it makes you stronger. We are saying to not let it be your total belief. At least not for very long. You might dip into it here and there. It is your journey. It is how, again, you are turning base metal into gold. It is the grist for the mill. It is the overcoming which makes you stronger. But please do always remember, when you are in the period of darkness, that all you need to do is hold its presence and dip one toe into the light and let the light come and overwhelm the process, as of a flame being able to be turned up in an alchemical brew. And so you always have what you need. And some key thoughts, some beliefs, if you will, some mechanisms that can help to transition from the period of darkness, transition you from the dark to the awareness, from the dark to the light, from the forgetting and the fear and the chaos to the awareness, to the light, where there is the place of resourcefulness. It is love. It is love. It is remembering that love is always the creative process. It is remembering that love has brought this to me and has not abandoned me. Love is here. Love is giving this to me. And so I wonder what good is coming of this. I wonder what love is coming of this. I wonder what light is being opened unto this, in this darkness that is already dawning, into the brilliance of the all that is love and light awareness. As we release the Council of Seven, the Atlantis 7, we bring in the angelic realm to remind each and every one of you that you are flanked with angels. You have partnership with the angelic realm at all times. And every time that you ask for support and assistance from the angelic, it is every time. And so we might ask you to advance. You're asking for help and support, asking for a message. Advance that asking into simply affirming. Simply affirming, my angelic support is here. Because you are not separate from the archangel who has composed the omnidimensionality of who you are all the way down to your toenails. You are not separate. You are held. Your life will not be cut short accidentally. The best thing that you can do to be in contact with your archangel is to just see if you can stoke up the light of faith within you, unconditional, and then to take that into an unconditionally positive, focused moving forward. As we close this transmission, we hold an energy that we are charging up with as much love as we feel that you could tolerate. And so as you would like to choose to invite and allow as much love as you can tolerate, you may speak this affirmation in your heart. You may simply say yes. And so we deliver it. This is an invitation to check out Astral Mastery. This is the ultimate intuitive expansion program, not only expanding your intuitive abilities as we understand them now, but to actually expand them into our greater aspects of spiritual experiencing, such as astral projection, bilocation, these magnificent abilities that we might recall from the Atlantean times that are actually helping us to move into our greater awakening and this new golden era that is upon us. This program also helps us to prepare for open contact with our benevolent, extra-dimensional allies. Yes, I'm talking about ETs. That is an integral part of moving into the new golden era. We would love to expand with you.